Yo, what's going on everyone? Miles Midoriya here with the review and recap of Trigun Stampede Season 1, Episode 9. In the beginning, we see Niles playing the piano, then the scene transitions to a younger Vash and Niles playing the piano. They was going off. The scene goes back to Niles and then a doctor walks into the room. He tells Niles that he's got everything that he wanted and he asks him what's he gonna do, but before he could respond, the alarm goes off and Niles can tell something is up. Niles and the doctor get to the room where the plant is at and the doctor says the plant is starting to overload, which caused a disconnection with the high dimension. The body cannot be maintained, it's in its final stage. Niles goes over to where the plant is at and it looks older and weaker, like they're really draining too much from the plant. The people who work there say that they can't be there and the doctor's asking them why do they continue to overload them beyond the threshold as if they're disposable. They told him to speed up reconstruction, otherwise they can't develop the planet. They told him to leave and the last run is about to start. Niles told the doctor to fix it, but he let Niles know that it's too late. It was explained that when they force a plant that has reached its production limit to go out of control, it uses up all the remaining energy, and the doctor asked Niles to forgive them, the humans. We already know Niles did some bad stuff before, and you could tell at this point in time he's about to turn things up a notch after seeing that, but you can see now why in the future he's taking the plants. It's not all the humans that are using the plants in a bad way, or at least some of them still care. He can't blame all of them. Vash walks in, picking up from the last episode. Niles asks him if he heard the plant scream and says to him, does he see what the humans are doing? Then one of the men didn't help the situation at all by saying that they are creatures that were born for the human race. They must feel lucky that they can be of use. See, comments like that is gonna make Niles even more angry. He said that right in front of the person that's disagreeing with what's going on. Plus, it sounded disrespectful the way he said it. They're living beings too, after all. The guy tells them they have to leave, they got things to do. They're trying to take Niles out of there. The doctor tells them to stop, but Niles had enough of it. He had his blades out and he started taking most of them out. Vash was trying to stop him, but he wasn't listening. We see Louita's on her way to where Vash is at, and I'm like, no, that is the wrong place to be with Niles acting like that right now. Vash asked him why'd he take those people out. Rim risked her life to save them. Niles let him know that if it weren't for her meddling, every ship other than the plant carriers would have been rubble. After all that work he did to swap out the navigation data for every single ship, we see some more people run in and Niles tells Vash that they could build a paradise and free their brethren from the humans. Vash let him know that plants can't survive without humans taking care of them. That's what Rim said. Outside of human control, plants use up all their energy in one burst and that's it. Niles didn't believe that. He said no matter how comfortable, chains are still chains, but they are different. They have their own will and they'll walk freely. That's when he took out the rest of the people who ran in. Niles is still trying to convince Vash to join him, and Vash asked him what is he planning, and that's when Louita calls out to him. He wondered what she was doing there and she said to get him so that they can go back home together. Niles didn't like the sound of that. He wanted Vash to take her out. He seen he wasn't going to do it, so Niles decided he was going to do it himself instead until Vash tackled him to the ground. He said until the bitter end, all he did was let Rim protect him. Because of that, he lost her, so he won't let Niles take anyone else away from him. Niles slammed Vash against the railing and he went towards Louita, telling her how many times would she steal Vash from him. Vash got back up and we see like this orb starting to pull everything around it in it, and the doctor said it's called the Gate. I may have forgotten about it in the old series, but comment below, what is the Gate? Is it new to this version of the anime or was it in the old one? I know it was brought up earlier in the season. Once Niles seen that, he went towards Vash and he cut his arm. So now we know how he lost it. And the orb pulled in his arm and it disappeared. Niles started to go towards Louita again, but Vash pointed a weapon at him. Niles said, just wait a while. A mere century or so, he promises he will build a world of plants. That was an interesting flashback. We got to see what happened to both of them after the crash, and in a way, what more shaped Niles' perspective and what he's trying to do. Next scene goes to the current time. We see an older Brad and Louita. Glad to see they're still around. Brad is going to be fixing Vash's arm, and he mentions how every time he comes back, he messes up his masterpiece. Vash asked Louita about the others, and she said they are all safe. The sand steamer, the orphanage, and his friends. Vash was like, friends, and they all popped up, and that dude Wolfwood told him he is not his friend. Meryl asked him how long have they known Vash, and Brad was like, about 150 years. Meryl was just as surprised as I was, and the look on Roberto's face said it all. Louita said it's because of the cold sleep, and Brad mentioned that they won't age during that time. She let them know that they maintain the ship for as long as possible, and that many of the passengers are still asleep. I was wondering where some of the people were at because we seen a little bit more people besides those two on that ship. Wolfwood said so it's not eternal life, and Louita said of course not, they are only human, although they had a little help from technology. Meryl chimed in with in front of plants. That's when Louita told her that she was going to show her something, and the room that she took them to looked beautiful. Meryl fell down and she asked Louita what is that in front of her. She said they're called flora, I think that's how you pronounce it. They grow using photosynthesis and multiply. They're a life form that is neither human nor worm. They're made of not just water but nutrients as well. well. Meryl was like, if they make more of them, and Roberto chimed in saying, is it that simple? The dome must be supported by plants, and not just one or two. She let him know the flora can lessen the load on the plants. Given time, they can spread the greenery across the entire planet. Roberto said, how long is that going to take? Decades or centuries? Luita told him no matter how long it takes, she wants to follow the right path. She doesn't want to justify wrongdoing just to survive. Roberto got a little annoyed, saying she sounds just like Vash when she said the right path. He doesn't care for her way of thinking, but she's free to go her own way and he will go his, and he hopes they are headed for the same goal. He was about to smoke until Luita said there's no smoke in there, and he actually said Meryl's name, asking her to find him a place where he can smoke, and she was so happy he said her name, and then of course he was trying to play it off. At least Luita is one of the people trying to find an alternative way to keep the plants safe. She might have realized what happened years back in that place with Vash, or he told her about it, and she decided to make a change. Back to the others, Wolfwood asked Vash does he think he can fix things with knives. Vash says he won't eliminate anyone again. He will find a way to save them all. That means humans, plants, and knives. Wolfwood told him there will be a day where he'll have to pick between them. Brad let him know he sounds just like how he used to be, trying to talk to Vash, thinking everything is black and white. He told him Vash is tough. He will learn that himself if he sticks around Vash. That's when we see Luita popped up. She said a swarm of worms showed up. They see it was Zazie, and he took Meryl and Roberto. Meryl and Roberto are in a new place. They're trying to figure out where they're at, and Zazie tells them they're at the third of the 7 cities on July, a crashed plant carrier. Roberto was trying to ask him a question, but Zazie changed the subject. He said the planet that they are on, that they call Nomad's Land, now stands at a crossroads. So he wants to find out, who do the worms side with, the humans or the plants? Roberto asked, who is he to make such a grand judgment? Zazie said it's their planet. They were there before they got there. He brought up how the humans messed up their home planet Earth. That's why they sent ships to the new planet. Meryl thought that couldn't be. He showed them the Earth and talked about what happened with it. Zazie told her why did she think the colony ships crashed. It was Vash and Niles that did it. Meryl said Vash, and what has he been doing in the century and a half since the crash? That's when he shows them the plants that Niles took from all over the planet. The doctor walks in and asks him why did he bring them there. He told him he doesn't take orders from him. Niles accepted him as a guest. Meryl asked why did he collect the red plants. The doctor said she doesn't need to know, and Zazie said he will tell her, but she has to tell him in return. Who benefits the planet more, humans or plants? Which does she think? And that's where the episode ends. Overall, that was a good episode. It continued with the backstory into the current time, seeing how things influence Niles and what's to come in the future about the planet. Comment below, what did you think about the episode and what was your favorite part from it? Here's some more content to check out. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.